Before we get started with the NCAA tournament, a scary and still developing situation in Arizona. Reds pitcher Aroldis Chapman hit in the face with a line drive this evening, happened just minutes ago, and it took several minutes for paramedics to get him onto a stretcher and off the field for further evaluation. Details sketchy at this point. They have called the game in the 6th inning, and we'll have more on this in just a few minutes. Now on to the Bearcats, who had their final practice for the start of the NCAA tournament and their first game against the Ivy League champions from Harvard. They are seeking their second big tournament upset in as many years. Brad Johansen from Spokane, Washington, with more on the Bearcats and Harvard.
Hey, Mike, we know what March is about. It is about peaking at the right time to be able to get past the fatigue, move on by surviving. And both teams are surviving because of physicality. In the Ivy League, Harvard has only gotten better. They pulled the upset last year in the first round as a 14 seed over New Mexico. Then this year, they've gotten better at 13-1 in conference play, 26 wins on the year. And although you think about the Ivy League, you don't think physical, Harvard is.
Boy, they're physical. And I say that with great respect for their competitiveness. They're veteran guys. They're really tough. They use their bodies around the rim. We're going to have to make sure we deal with that.
And the Crimson know exactly what they're getting in Cincinnati.
We know that Cincinnati is a team that really attacks glass, and they really attack you on the defensive end. So we have to be very sure of the ball on offense and make sure we box out on defense.
And now for two teams on East Coast time, they will play in the morning in Spokane to battle it out to move on to the next round. But it's still about one very simple thing.
You still got to grind it out. You still got to win regardless, no matter what the situation is. So being in Spokane, Washington, yeah, it's far, but we're still playing basketball.
They will tip it around 2:10 Cincinnati time. That'll be about 11:10 for an early wake-up call for both of these teams. We'll be with them. Have the latest for you and the reaction from the locker room afterwards. From Spokane, Mike, for now, I'll send it back to you.
And a reminder, tomorrow afternoon's UC game airs on cable or satellite on TNT. Local 12, remember, does not have a choice in which games CBS carries. We do what we're told. Back after this with an Aroldis Chapman update. Rare day off for the Reds yesterday, but they got back at it today. And unfortunately, some potentially bad news as Aroldis Chapman, as we told you earlier, took a line drive to the face during his relief appearance. Paramedics were called to the field. Stretcher was needed to take him to the clubhouse, and it took several minutes to get him off the field. Score of the game seems like it deserves a spot in the back seat. They called it immediately after the incident occurred. 6-3. Kansas City was in the lead. We're told the pitch Chapman threw on which he was hit was clocked at 99 miles per hour. So at that speed, when it makes contact with the bat, it just comes screaming off that bat. Obviously hoping for the best for Aroldis Chapman. Continue to follow Local 12, local12.com, and our Twitter feeds as we get updates. We will make them available to you on the Aroldis Chapman situation down in Arizona. Mat Latos today made a minor league start. Good to see Matt on the mound for the first time since having his knee surgically repaired 1 month ago. He threw 2 innings, allowed 3 hits and no runs while striking out 4. So not a bad rehab start, especially when you consider Latos also had bone chips removed from his elbow back in October. Bengals had a backup quarterback today. It's Jason Campbell. He played for the Redskins, Browns, Bears, and Raiders. And in Oakland, he enjoyed his best stretch, where new offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson was the head coach.